Founded in 1873, Levi's is now one of the world's leading fashion brands and operates in more than 110 countries. Design is based in the US. Manufacturing and distribution are focused overseas through strategic alliances with partner organisations. They are directly retail and wholesale. They also license their trademark in many countries for a range of other fashion products. From the 1960s, Levi's has experienced significant growth as casual trends have ushered in the blue jeans craze, thus serving as a catalyst for the brand to form alliances with production plants in China. However, in 1993 the company declared it would stop making jeans in China due to concern for human rights and the fact that China's trademark, patent and the copyright laws are not adequate to protect their intellectual property rights, resulting in thousands of counterfeit jeans being produced. In China there are few government regulations on the marketing of consumer goods. Today, the Levi's name is strong in urban China. In fact, in 2010, Levi's launched a new brand in Shanghai called Denizen, aimed at the emerging youth markets. China is the second largest country in the world at just over 9.5 million square kilometres. Its geography varies greatly from bamboo-covered hills in the south, the Gobi Desert in the north, the Himalayas in the west, and subtropical river deltas with densely populated plains in the east. China is abundant in fossil fuels, metals, labour, farmed produce and has the world's largest potential for hydropower. China has become one of the world's largest investors in renewable energy as they are the world's biggest consumer of electricity, using 5.3 trillion kilowatts annually. The population is 1.3 billion, 91% identify as Han Chinese and there are 55 other ethnic groups. The one-child policy was introduced in 1979 to stem population growth but was relaxed in 2013. The official language is Mandarin, natively spoken by 70%. There are 292 other living languages, including Cantonese, Mongolian and Tibetan. China's history dates back over 4,000 years. For centuries, China's political system was based on hereditary monarchs called dynasties. The People's Republic of China is now a socialist republic, ruled by the Communist Party, with a law system based primarily on the civil law model. It includes legislative, executive, judicial and military branches. In 2014 this government was ranked 100 from 175 nations, having only scored 36% on a scale of corruption. Most Chinese are atheists due to the recent communist history, but now there is a revival in folk religions like Confucianism and Taoism. About 6% are Buddhist. The concept of terrorism never existed in Imperial China, as it goes against the teachings of Taoism. However, since 9/11, the government has strengthened its involvement in counter-terrorist efforts. China is the home of inventions like tea, paper, printing, gunpowder, the compass, the abacus, silk, and the list goes on. Recently, they have made huge advances in technology, medicine, sustainability, and agriculture. The country's economy has nearly doubled in the last 5 years. As their GDP increases, they are spending less on food and more on services. There is 641 million internet users, accounting for nearly 1/4 of the world's internet-connected devices. China is the world's largest exporter, sending $2.2 trillion worth of electronics, machinery, fashion garments, and other manufactured goods to countries like Hong Kong, the US, Japan, and Germany. They have gained expertise and trade opportunities since joining APEC and ASEAN. They mostly import raw materials for their manufacturing, as well as electronics and other specialist goods for the new middle class. The economy is generally quite stable, with slow reform, which is irreversible and has met very few risks. In China, the worst political risk is nationalism. Historically, Chinese people operate on polychronic time as a high-context society. They are long-term orientated, causing decision-making to be a long process of building relationships and passing the decisions up the hierarchical chain, demonstrating high power distance. When doing business in China, it is best to organise meetings in advance and ensure you arrive early to show respect. Show formal body language. Establish relationships by shaking hands and a slight nod of the head, but avoid humour as it can be lost in translation. Women need to be aware of gender bias, as China is rated as a highly masculine country. Avoid conflict at all costs to save face, known as mians. And remember, the Chinese love gifts for celebrations or a thank you, but definitely not without a reason or witness, demonstrating their collectivism.
Created using Powtoon.